I truly could not believe it. But, Joy, Aaron Rodgers is a man who we all talk about. How much blame falls on Aaron Rodgers for missing the playoffs?
All of it. All of it. We're now into the playoffs, so teams are going to lose, and we're going to blame the quarterbacks of those teams.
That's how it works.
What we're going to do.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
I don't make the rules. I didn't make the machine. This is how it goes. You get all the money, you get all the praise, you get all the interviews, you get all the blame. And conveniently, in this situation, you deserve the blame.
Yeah.
The offense didn't look the same all season long. In fact, when they did change things to start winning games, it wasn't centered around Aaron Rodgers.
It was not.
You won back-to-back league MVPs, and you make $50 million a year. Who the hell else are we supposed to blame? How could anyone step up to the mantle to take the blame? Now, look, you can talk about the organization not putting the right pieces around them. We can talk about Matt LaFleur, who up until this season, we didn't really have that many questions about.
Yeah.
You're the guy. This is how it goes. It doesn't take away from Aaron Rodgers' season-long, like seasons of greatness. But not making the postseason after winning back-to-back league MVPs is a colossal disappointment. It is a much greater disappointment than Russell Wilson, who got dragged all season long. It's a greater disappointment than whatever was going on with the Raiders. It's the biggest collapse in the NFL this year, and it deserves all of the attention and blame that it's going to get. It's the Green Bay Packers. So if you're supposed to pitch to me every single year, I'm supposed to take the Green Bay Packers as a serious Super Bowl contender. What's the difference between the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys in the postseason for the last 4 years?
Not a whole lot.
But, I mean, if you call the Cowboys Super Bowl contenders, you sound outrageous. Oh, it's a crazy person. Aaron Rodgers hasn't done anything in the postseason worth talking about as of late, and they're not even in the dance this year. It's all the blame has to lay at Aaron Rodgers' feet.
Sounds bad.
2-5, where you laying this blame, man? How much on Aaron Rodgers?
All of it. I'm riding with my dog. Nah, I mean, she said some key facts. Like, first of all, in the postseason, if it's the number one seed or if it's just to win one game to get into the playoffs, he hasn't done anything in the postseason. Anything, right? That's one thing. And the second thing is, when you look at the Packers team, once they got rid of Devontae Adams, right, and he decided to go somewhere else, and they didn't want to make the money with him, right, first, and they got the Aaron Rodgers first, pay him first, give him $50 million, it's all on you. We talk about all the time with these quarterbacks. They get all the praise when they score, when they win in games.
Yep.
If they hand the ball off 30 times, Jimmy Garoppolo, sorry. And then they win the game. The defense has turnovers. The running game's working. You throw maybe one touchdown. They don't care about that. They give all the credit to the quarterback. So they get all the blame. And a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's the big dog, let's really talk about what it really is.
Yep.
The narrative of the game was, A-Rod started off slow. He willed his way back, has a chance last game in Lambeau Stadium, get a win in the playoffs. They signed that thing. No, it's his fault. You the big guy, you the big name. All these media stuff he's doing about, I'm taking all the critics' receipts of what they said about me earlier in the year. Well, we still writing. I'm one of them. You had one shot to get in the playoffs. It's the Lions at home, a dome team coming into outside. It's in your favor, the advantage. In football, we always talk about getting the advantages.
Yep.
All the advantages on your side. You did not play well. You didn't play well all season. Once they changed in week 12.
Week 12.
They were so up to week 12, they were averaging like 20-something carries a game, which is real low. The last 6-7 weeks, they've been running it. That's why the offense was way different. They stopped the run last night. Aaron Rodgers didn't do nothing but throw picks. He should have had 2 picks.
He should have.
In the third quarter, late in the game, he threw a pick, and then it was the defensive end hit the face mask or something like that. He didn't play well. This goes all on him.
Was a penalty. I mean, it
No,
was a bad
come
throw.
on, Dave.
That was a penalty.
Don't start this
That's not
Dak
the point.
Prescott excuses. He played bad.
It's always you. It's always shady. It's always shady that goes there first. No, I mean, Aaron Rodgers deserves the lion's share of the blame, right? I mean, he's the $50 million.
Unintended? Like the Detroit Lions share of the blame or the?
I wish I could say I even did that on
that wasn't
purpose.
bad. That was pretty good.
I wish I could say I even did that on purpose.
You're just that good, Dave.
He's gotta take the majority of the blame. He's the $50 million guy. I hesitate, but it's the thing that I stop at is that it's never all on one person. It can't be. Like what? In a world where Aaron Rodgers isn't making $50 million, we're talking about, and I know in Wisconsin right now, in Milwaukee and wherever else, they're talking about Aaron Jones fumbling on the 32-yard line at the end of the first half with a chance to go up by 2 scores. They kick a field goal. They're up 12-3 heading into the half. They score a touchdown. All of a sudden, they've got a commanding lead. They can really dictate the rest of that game. Aaron Rodgers had 4 drops by his receivers last night. 4 in a game. They finished 3rd worst in the league in drops on the season. I get it, Joy. Okay. All I'm saying is it's not all his fault. But when your salary is $50 million or your cap hit, you got to ride the blame for that. I mean, people had the audacity, and we talked about this last week, people had the audacity over the last month to say that Aaron Rodgers put the Packers on his back. No, he didn't.
He did
Come
not.
on. That never happened. That never happened in this iteration of the Packers. So if you're saying Rodgers put him on his back when they were winning games before, then it's totally fair game to say that it's all his fault.
Yep.
In reality, it's not, but that's what happens when you're the quarterback.
I will say Aaron Rodgers is 100% to blame, not because it's all his fault, but because Aaron Rodgers could have exclusively kept the Packers out of this atrocious season. Aaron Rodgers, to me, is that old 400-meter runner who can no longer calculate when they need to start getting faster in order to win the race. They're that old distance runner whose perceived ability and actual ability are no longer in alignment. 2014, Packers start off 1-2. Aaron Rodgers says, relax.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He was right. Went to the NFC Championship game. 2016, Packers start off 4-6. Aaron Rodgers, we're going to turn it around. He was right. They finished 10-6. Well, cut to 2022. Packers start off 3-6. Aaron Rodgers, week 10, he turns it around. Christian Watson, he gets going. Aaron Rodgers was like, hey, we're just where we want to be. He was wrong. His perceived ability and his actual ability are no longer in alignment. 2014, he turned it on, NFC Championship game. 2016, turned it on, wins 6 straight games, goes to the playoffs. But in 2022, Aaron Rodgers is no longer as great as he thinks he is, let alone we know he is. LeSean McCoy hit the nail on the head when he said Aaron Rodgers didn't have one 300-yard game all season long. He's had 13 300-yard games under head coach Matt LaFleur. And he didn't have one all season long. Aaron Rodgers is the individual who wants to work smarter and not harder.
Yeah.
I co-sign that. That's how I try to live my life. It's more efficient. The problem is you better work incredibly smart. If you don't want to go to OTAs, Aaron Rodgers, that's fine. But don't be mad at Romeo Doubs, number 87, your 3rd-round pick, when he's dropping slants. If you don't want to go to OTAs, Aaron Rodgers, that is fine. But don't be mad when you don't have a number 1 receiver through the first 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks of ball. If you don't want to go to OTAs, that's fine. But you can't be mad when you can't go to the playoffs either. That's really how I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers. Shady, I know you have a lot of thoughts of Aaron Rodgers because he's been compared to Tom Brady. Does this change how you view Aaron Rodgers? We talked about it pre-show, how Patrick Mahomes lost his number 1 receiver and didn't miss a beat. Aaron Rodgers lost his number 1 receiver in Devontae Adams, and things look totally different.
I truly believe that. Now, granted, you know, Pat does have Andy Reid. That makes a big difference. But one thing about Aaron Rodgers, we put him in that category. See, that's the difference, right? Pat, I think he's in his own category, and he's getting better and better and better. But we don't put him up there with Brady yet. Not yet. He's still young. A-Rod, they love to try to put that now. Tom Brady's Tom Brady, but they love to put him in the same category, the GOAT conversation. Well, if you're the GOAT, like everybody thinks you are, we got to see this. He didn't play well all year. And if you notice, he blamed everybody else. Young receivers, this, that, and the third. No, man, you. A-Rod didn't put that team on his back last night or this season. So a lot of that blame goes to him.
Joy, you make a great point. I think I've gone easier on Aaron Rodgers outside of my last 3-minute rant because I'm like, Aaron Rodgers is a 2-time MVP, but Mahomes hasn't missed a playoff since he's been a starter.
Come on now.
Tom Brady, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he missed the playoffs when he was a starter. Obviously, the Patriots did. They went 11-5. Matt Castle, Tom Brady up
he
torn
got
ACL.
hurt. Yeah.
But Tom Brady hasn't missed the playoffs. Even with the Bucks, he calculated just how much he needed to get in.
Right.
Does this change your opinion of the 4-time MVP, back-to-back MVP, Aaron Rodgers?
Him missing the playoffs this year doesn't change it because I don't think if they made the playoffs and they'd be playing who? San Francisco, that it would make much of a difference of how I feel about Aaron Rodgers, which is he's an all-time great talent. But if we're really honest about Aaron Rodgers' career, and if you want to blame the Packers for this, if you want to blame, you know, their lack of ability to be aggressive, if you want to blame his coaches, fine. Nobody else gets those exceptions, but fine. Also, you have to blame Aaron Rodgers for being a great regular season quarterback.
One of the best.
and kind of disappointing in the postseason when it comes to team success. Two things can be true. You can be an all-time great talent, and your talent not consistently lead to championships. He's been to one championship.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
So it doesn't mean he's not. It doesn't mean he's not incredibly talented. It doesn't mean he's not one of the greatest to ever play the game. All those things can be true. But when you're talking about getting in conversations with Tom Brady, which again I don't think anybody should be compared to Tom Brady, but Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, you have great individual talent. But the Green Bay Packers are not a dysfunctional organization. I don't care what you want to pitch me. They're not dysfunctional.
They're not.
They might not be as aggressive as I think that they should be, particularly in the modern NFL, but they're pretty consistent. They have a great run game this year. They had a decent
draft
defense.
well.
It's always an excuse for why they can't get over it. And I'm saying you have the guy, right? You should be able to put the team on your back from time to time in the postseason.
Dave, quickly.
In totality, I think these last 3 years put a hell of a dent in Aaron Rodgers' legacy,
Yes, it did.
in my opinion. When you think, I'm with you, Shady. Like for my money, he's one of the most talented throwers of a football I've ever seen.
True.
And I was just like, I don't care what you say. Like, Rodgers is going to have him there at the end. He always does. There's something magical about him. And the last 3 years, they get the 1 seed. They lose a home game in the NFC Championship to a wild card team. The next year, they get the 1 seed. They lose at Lambeau Field in their first game.
Again.
And now, you think like, oh, Rodgers can make it work because he's Rodgers. He's still got some of that magic. And obviously, it's not even the playoffs. All of these games end at Lambeau. All of these are games that they could have won, and they didn't win any of them. I think it puts a dent in Rodgers' legacy, and it takes a little mystique off of the Packers that we've respected so much.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.